Alright, and we are back after watching SpaceX launch Falcon 9, which is always amazing to see. I would have stayed and streamed it all, but it's all fine. So we're still en route to Anguilla. So we should be on our way. We're still operating. No, this is still going to be a night ops. Let's see if we can get our dome lights on here. Let's try to see if we can get a little bit of, visibility in the cockpit. No, I will let you know, yeah, our cabin lights are still off. But we're just going to go ahead and keep our lights in the cockpit, just so that we are able to represent everything here or see everything the way that it needs to be seen. We should be coming up on our top of descent soon, right after Bino. Our top of descent is from Jets. So 7 minutes from Jets is when we are going to be making our descent down to our final approach fix, or our final approach altitude of 1,760 feet. Which will be for our initial approach into RNAV, runway 11. Now our winds do favor runway 11, so we are keeping that in mind. Just keep checking our weather, ensure everything is good. We have weather at VFR, 26 degrees Celsius, wind 070 at 6 knots, 10 miles of visibility, and our QNH is 1014 hectopascals. Alright, so it's reasonable for our flight today. This should not hinder us. Normally this is like night operations, and you wouldn't typically see these aircrafts arriving in the evening, especially those types of locations. However, we are making that flight today. For some reason, my stuff is notifying me. I'm gonna turn this off. Alright, so the latest that this aircraft does arrive is around 5:48 p.m. Due to the fact that this aircraft is, or the locations, they usually are closed by 6 o'clock. So it would depart 5 minutes before the runway is closed. Now, because we're in the sim, and as long as there is lighting on the runway, it's all fair game to land and take off. So we are going to be taking off and departing whatever time that we feel. In era of keeping this realistically, I would, set up a flight where we land, realistically, we would land at around 3 p.m. and then we would depart out of Anguilla at around 5:55 p.m., which means that we have to be wheels up and off the ground before 5:55 p.m. So we are all good here. I'm just keeping a lookout at our approach and everything just to verify that we are all set. Now we are going to be LNAV, VNAV, our minimums today is going to be 550 feet. We're going to keep that in. In the event that we're not able to see the runway, it's going to be, we will be going around and climbing up to 1,760 feet, or I should say 2,000. So it's for your missed approach, climb straight ahead to 1,000, then left turn to crook and hold. That means that we have to hold that crook until we are, we reset up and be able to fly that approach again. Now, today our initial approach fix is going to be your MAD, or it's URMAD. Um, that we have to be down here at our final approach fix at 1,760 feet, which should be about 1,700 feet. Friday coming up on Beano, our next waypoint is going to be where we start our timer here for 7 minutes, and then we are going to initiate our descent into into the airfield. So we'll just follow it down. We'll do, step descent. So, for example, as mentioned previously, this aircraft just descends quickly down to the ground. So what we would typically do is do a step descent, select something like 17,000, or we select something like 12,000, descend down to 12,000, hold that altitude if in the event that we are a little bit far out, and then we will descend down again to 7,000, and so on and so forth. Now, landing in this location is not going to be a factor in terms of weather, because it should be all good. When I check Navigraph here, we have wind 070 at 6 knots, few clouds at 2,000, temperature 260.22, QNH 1014, and that's at 0423 Zulu. So it is in VFR conditions with 79%, well, basically 80% humidity. There are no, terrain awareness that we need to be aware of. We need to be aware of birds at all times, especially flying out in the Caribbean. There are going to be frigate birds, seafaring birds, and we also have a lot of birds that do stay around the airport or the airfield. They do a lot to mitigate that risk. However, we still need to be vigilant with the bird situation. Now, we're not going to be concerned regarding the sim. However, in realistic operations, those are exactly what we are going to need to take a look at. Now, again, no weather, so there should not be any weather radar needed. So we should not expect any rains or anything. There were no rains reported at the airfield. We would just be able to, get down and land. This is going to be a manual landing, which means that at 1,000 feet we have to be disconnected off the autopilot and stabilized on that RNAV approach. So we have to keep an eye on our stabilized criteria and ensure that we are going to be landing safely today. Alright, so we still have 32 knots of tailwind, which is perfect. We are just keeping up with that. This is going to help us, increase our speed headed over. We have been flying for at least 2 hours now, and we have 25 minutes to the left. So 3 hours was, wishful thinking. This thing thought I would take 3 hours, but it was just over 2 hours. So 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes. So in my next flight, I should be planning around that, so I know exactly what time I should land. If I land earlier, that would be great. It would be amazing if I could land a lot earlier and just be able to perform the same turnarounds that the American Airlines team or the American Eagle team would be able to do. Alright, so the next flight out of, well, we will basically be overnighting here in Anguilla, so there should be no you know, issues there. We'll be overnight in Anguilla and then flying back out to Miami the following day. So tomorrow morning, once we get up, that's going to be our first flight out, departing out of Anguilla, heading down to Miami, where we will do another flight, which will be taking off from Miami and head back down to Dominica. That way, you know, we can, you know, keep our quota high on this aircraft here. Right, let's check our CTAF, CJ Lloyd, and then Juliana approach within that area, but our CTAF is going to be 118.5, so we're going to go ahead and save that in the box right now. 118.500. Keep that there. So we'll be able to provide as much information to any aircrafts that are within the area. Our airport elevation today is at 124 feet. I've flown into here with small aircrafts and smaller aircrafts a lot, so it is not something that is new to me. And we are approaching jets shortly. We have at least 5 minutes or 41 nautical miles until we hit jets. Again, it's 7 minutes until my top of descent after we pass through jets. As soon as we hit jets, we are going to go ahead and run our stopwatch here for 7 minutes, and then we're going to initiate our descent. I think I'm going to initiate that descent down to 11,000, where we should be able to slow down to 250 knots to remain below 250 under 10,000. Or just to amend that, I shall go down to 10,000, where the aircraft will automatically slow down from 10,000 at 250 knots. And someone said I got on. Terrific. As soon as I was reading, someone said it decides to just hop on and be all San Juan Center-y. Alright, San Juan Center, we have to contact them at 118.15.
Uh, 8,600 feet. And we are running the approach for the runway.
Say Colson again?
Baron Air 186 Charlie. You just called me.
Baron Air 186 Charlie is on center. Good evening. Squawk 5565.
Someone said envoy 3419, level 330.
Envoy 3419 is on center. Good evening. Squawk 5473.
5473 reset for envoy 3419.
Baron 186 Charlie, radar contact about 30 miles southwest San Juan. And spec dial is runway 10. Descend maintain 4,000. San Juan altimeter 3002.
Descend maintain 4,000. Altimeter will be 3002.
Transponder, I switch over to
Charlie.
Baron Air 186 Charlie, clear your container.
Or I ident, just so that they know that I'm identing the correct code.
Can you repeat for Baron Air 186 Charlie?
But on Air 186 Charlie, clear, direct Tanner, Tango November, November Echo Romeo.
Direct Tanner, Bonner 186 Charlie.
Envoy 3419, radar contact 25 miles northeast of San Juan, flight level 330. Envoy 3419 at pilot discretion, cross Slugo at maintain flight level 110.
At discretion will cross Slugo at 110, Envoy 3419. Alright, so there we go for Slugo. Let's see where we're at Slugo. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we are approaching jets in about a minute, and it's 7 minutes to our top of descent. So we're just preparing our stopwatch here.
Baton Air 186 Charlie, descending 3000.
3000, Baton Air 186 Charlie.
Five miles. Alright, there we go. 7 minutes. Alright, so Slugo is at 100, almost over 100 nautical miles away, so 7 minutes into the flight we should start our descent.
Baton Air 186 Charlie, 4 miles from Tanner, cross Tanner at about 2,200. Clear ILS runway 10.
Clear approach for the runway 10 and maintain 2,200.
Baton Air 186 Charlie, wind 070 at 10, runway 10, clear to land.
Clear to land, Baton Air 186 Charlie.
Alright, so we are just about 2 minutes and 20 seconds into our stopwatch here. Again, it's going to be 7 minutes before we initiate our next descent. I may just pop that up to 5 minutes because there's no way I'm doing 7 minutes, because I think we should be arriving at Slugo pretty quickly, and we got to get down to 11,000. We got to cross Slugo at or above, or maintain 11,000. Alright, let's get our dome lights off so we can barely see what's outside. Aircraft froze there for a sec. That was a very interesting freeze, but okay. Like how the screens ahead of you blind you from seeing everything else. Let's lower these. Let's lower that. Let's lower that for me. For her. I'll keep this up. Yeah. There you go. Perfect. So it gives me a little bit more visibility on the outside. It'd be weird to be wearing my shades in here. Okay, so we can definitely do the 7 minutes because it definitely knows that we are able to make that. Let's check our... Oh wow, we're almost at Slugo. Alright, so we just past the St. Thomas Islands, and we are inbound to this island. Yep, Road Town Tortola. Alright, so we're approaching Tortola in a sec. So most of the little islands are outside here. It's going to be Tortola and a few other smaller islands, which is like about right here. Alright, 5 minutes 20 seconds. We just got under 2 minutes left before we initiate our descent. Should initiate our descent at 6 minutes. It's gonna be real close. Okay, so it has 7 minutes, so we should be all right. I'm gonna allow the aircraft to get down pretty quickly, so you know it's at our discretion, not at ADC's discretion, so we should be all set.
But on 186 Charlie, what is in launch turns left anywhere, and where you're parking at?
Can you repeat for Baronair 186 Charlie?
I'm trying to get
Baronair 186 Charlie, turn left,
looks like our
Hotel 6, take parking.
Changing a little bit. Not that
whatever you assigned first, we are turning left now.
Are you a passenger or cargo aircraft?
We are passenger.
Baronair 186 Charlie, roger, taxi parking via hotel, good night.
Parking via hotel, good night, thank you very much, Baronair 186 Charlie.
20 seconds. Five seconds. Level change. Chrono. Reset. And down we go. Alrighty, so we're heading down to 11,000 feet. Again, this aircraft is going to speed all the way down because it loves speed. So here we go. If you notice right here, we're doing almost 3,600 feet per minute going down. Let's check our transition altitude. Okay, transition altitude 5,000. So we should not be studying transition altitude until we get down to about 5,000 feet, which is very interesting. But then again, we're super close to the equator, so that should Shouldn't be an issue. Alright, so I'm just moving around a few things here. For example, my stool that I have my joystick on. So there's a lot of movements going on around my cockpit. Definitely got to get a new chair, because this thing is a killer on my back. Alright, so my joystick has been moved to its position that it needs to be at, and we're just going to go ahead and twist it a little bit so that it is askew a little bit. Right, we do have our minimums already set here, so it's 550 feet, and we are maintaining pretty good airspeed here. So we're down to 2,900 feet per minute. We got 29 miles. We're just monitoring our altitude here. We're approaching Slugo in a sec, about 20 miles. Should be able to get that down. Well, I can just pop our speed brake here and we can get down a lot faster. We need at least 11,000 feet. So let's go ahead and pop our speed brakes here and get down a lot faster.
Envoy 3419, expect the RNAV runway 11 approach.
Roger, Envoy 3419, we already have that set up. Yep.
Envoy 3419, roger, depart Slugo, direct Urmet.
Say again, Envoy 3419.
Envoy 3419, depart Slugo, direct Urmet.
Depart Slugo, direct Ormet for Envoy 3419. Armad. Sorry, Armad. Alright, drop through Slugo, straight to Ormad, and we're good. Alright, we gotta get down to 11,000 feet. There is a little bit of turbulence, so let's go ahead and get our seatbelt signs on. And we're not down below 10,000 yet, so our sterile cockpit lights can remain on or off. Alright, there's our islands out here. Looks like our winds are definitely going to favor us today, and we're almost at 11,000 at Slugo. Alright, let's brake on that. There we go. Our airspeed is slowing down.
Envoy 3419, descend 3000, the valley is QNH 1014.
Down to 3,000, copy on the QNH, Envoy 3419. 3419. Alright, so we're down to 3,000 as instructed by ATC. Alright, here we go. Let's keep it a few in first. I'm just checking out my FMS or my do there. Alright, 10,000 now. We're going to go ahead and turn on our landing lights. I'm going to turn on our sterile cockpit so that everyone knows that, you know, they ain't got to come over here. Let's turn on our logo light. And we're going to keep our wing inspections on. Our logo light is going to remain on just so that they are seeing us once we're... Oops, I think I just pushed that button there by accident. I do that anytime I'm below 18,000 feet. Right, again, this does not have VNAV, so all this is being done by you and you got to calculate everything on your own. Right, again, we are on VATSIM today, so we do have San Juan Control with us today as we arrive into Anguilla this evening. Again, it is pretty dark, and I honestly hate how dark it is in 2020, but it's all fine. Alright, so basically it's a straight in approach. From Ermad, we're just going directly in and we should be able to see the runway as we fly straight in. Again, our minimum today is going to be at 550 feet, so we're going to keep that in mind while we do our approach here today. Alright, we already see the runway. That's for sure. All the way out here. That's one of the things that, you know, 2020 does. It makes you see runways at a very far distance. Down to 5,000 here today. Try to get some good, some fresh air. Cannot open my cockpit windows, but I can open my windows and get that fresh ocean breeze from the Caribbean. We're still maintaining, and I know my ACARS is gonna say that I'm exceeded. Oh no, it did not. That's cool.
10.3419 cross Ermat are above 2,000. Clear RNAV runway 10 approach. Correction, 11 approach.
Roger, cross Ermat at or above 2,000. Clear for the RNAV 11 approach on way 3419. All right, so. Let's go ahead and engage auto brake to low. This aircraft stops very quickly on auto brake. on auto brake medium, so there's no reason for me to be using medium auto brake for any of these runways. The only runway I will use auto brake medium on is going to be in Dominica because it's very short in the sim. There we go, we're turning on to final. Alright, let's go ahead and activate our approach speed. See that we are cleared for the runway 11 approach. Definitely at or above, but we were like about 1,000 feet above.
Envoy 3419, wind 070 at 6, runway 11, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 11 for Envoy 3419. Right, so we are cleared to land, all the way out here. So that means we don't have anyone else en route to land, so we should be all set.
WestJet 677 on center, good evening, squawk 7302.
Squawk 730.
Alright, let's go. Our first degree of flaps, and our aircraft, our airspeed is going to come back. So 180 knots. Again, from here we can't see the runway ahead, so it still shows us as too low. We're going to wait for us to see some whites there.
WestJet 677, radar contact over Opal, flight level 350, welcome. Alright, let's go flaps 2. And again, I know the area around here, we're not going to be getting to, you know, any horrendous stutters. So we should be all set. This is a very low approach over the ocean. Flaps 3. With our gear down, let's switch to our manual speed here, and we are going to do 140 knots. Let's go ahead and get our taxi lights to on, so they are aware that we are cleared for landing. You can see that landing light has illuminated. Not sure what it was doing right there for a second.
Someone Senator, good evening. This is American 1481. We're at Princess Juliana looking to pick up.
Right, so it's going to climb up to maintain our speed, and here we go. We're going to go ahead and go full flaps right now.
American 1481, Someone Center, good evening. You're cleared to San Juan Airport to be a red vector, Gouda, flight route initial climb, flight level 150,
flaps,
squawk 4374.
And our landing gear is down aloft 3 greens.
San Juan, we're the transition to Gouda. We'll climb maintain 1,5000, and I'll clock 4374, 1481.
American 1481, right back track, KNH 1015, runway 10 for departure. Advice ready for pushback and startup.
We'll call for push and start, running 10. American 1481.
We should be still good. Yep, there we go. We got 2 whites and 2 reds. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect our autopilot right now. And we're going to manually fly this aircraft into Anguilla. And we're all whites now, so that means we're a little bit too high. So we're just going to go ahead and make small adjustments here. Restart trim. Try to trim the aircraft out to maintain our proper glide path down to the runway. sterile cockpit light is still off, I think. But it's no problem. No one's coming in here. Alright, so we're still a little bit too high, so we're going to go ahead and get our nose down a little bit so that we can get down to the runway here to get on glide. And I believe it's because I'm trimmed out a little bit nose up. Alright, there we go. Alright, so let's get rid of our throttle.
Throttle.
Alright, she shouts at you, telling you throttle. That's fine. We're still a little bit too high. We're going to go ahead and get down. Again, this aircraft gets down quickly. That's one of the things it knows how to do, get there.
Approaching minimums.
And we're all good for that minimums.
400. Minimums.
Down 1 center, good evening. FedEx 4321 Heavy, flight level 380.
Echo, we're ready to copy you.
Hi.
3800.
Aircraft calling Vegas.
Sync rate.
It's American 1447. We're over at
Sync rate.
Juliana. We got information. We're ready to copy up on American 1447 is on center. Good evening. You're cleared to San Juan Airport via Red Vector Scooter. Flight en route. Initial climb. Flight level 150. Spark 5536. It's a San Juan Airport via Red Vector Scooter. MH 1000. Spark 5536. American 1447.
Auto brake.
American 1447, ready back correct, Juliana, KNH 1015, wind 05, correction 060 degrees, 8 knots, runway 10 for departure, advice ready for push and start up. Roger, we'll let you know when we're ready to push and start.
There we go again. We did not have any.
And Boy 3419, welcome to Anguilla, backtrack runway 11, and exit via Echo.
Backtrack runway 11, exit at via Echo for runway 3419.
Any other aircraft trying to check in?
It's FedEx 4321 Heavy, flight level 380.
Okay, she does nothing but sit there, and we're just going to go ahead and turn around on that runway.
That's 4321 Heavy, San Juan Center, good evening, squawk 4314.
4314 for FedEx 4321 Heavy.
No takeoff. Left.
I don't need this.
San Juan Center, American 1447, we are unable to accept the good departure. We do not have it on our 50.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get our flaps up.
It's American 1447. Just want to let you know we cannot accept the Gooder departure at the St. Martin. We do not have it on our FT. And American 1447, there's no departure, there's no Gouda departure. It will be red vectors to Gouda. I'm going to give you a heading to Gouda.
That's what's on all the time. Okay, perfect. Glad I did not forget. So we're exiting via Echo.
Thanks, 4321, radar contact 3 miles northwest of Canada, flight level 380, welcome. WestJet 677, a pilot discretion cross Trinky at maintain flight level 110.
Set via Echo.
Sorry, say it again for WestJet 677.
WestJet 677, cross Trinky at flight level 110.
Alright, gonna have to go
Flight
into
cross Trinky at
Alpha
flight
because we actually overshot that right there. He said Echo.
Affirmative.
Roger.
I will take Bravo here. some reason the brakes just locked. Okay. But here we go. We're going to turn in here.
Envoy 3419 taxi parking, remain this frequency. Good night.
To park in, remain the frequency on wave 3419. Good night. So we're getting into parking here. Unsure. Okay, somewhere up there. Yeah, I was about to say I'm unsure as to where they want us. Because I don't want to be this huge jet guy just coming in and blocking everyone. So let's get our brakes set. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3. Strobe lights are off. Let's do this. Get in here. These are all parkings for smaller jets, so or smaller aircrafts. My parking is right about there.
WestJet 677, San Juan.
Go ahead for WestJet 677.
WestJet 677, I have a short reroute for you. Advice ready to go.
Go ahead for 677.
WestJet 677 after Trinky, clear direct Kabar. That's Golf, Alpha,
Let's
Bravo,
go.
Alpha Romeo,
Turn
then
in.
direct destination.
Yeah, we're still good on that.
Roger, so after Trinky, I will go direct to Gabar and then direct to destination. I'm planning the RNAV 407.
WestJet 677, Roger. You can make that request with the next sector.
Alright, thank you.
Here we go. Let's stop here. We should have ample clearance. An ample clearance. Alright, so now that we are here, let's stop our engines. Wow, that I hate when it does that. Like, come on, bro. Alright, so I know I had my lights on for this entire taxi. Alright, let's get our beacon lights to off and our seatbelt signs and everything else to off while our engine cools down and we end this flight today. Alright, so again, welcome to Anguilla, guys. Let's get these off and our wing inspection.
San Juan Center, American 1447 is ready to push start. American 1447, push back, approved, facing west. Push back, facing west, American 1447.
We could have pushed in a little bit more, but then again, I didn't want to be off the grass right there. Oh well, it's fine. They can deal with it. They won't have anyone coming back here. And they have a taxiway behind me, so it's all set. It's all good. They have no issues at all. Alright, so this is our flight here today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, with this. Just to let you guys know, it was minus 201 feet per minute landing. 5 degrees pitch, 3 degree bank. So we're on the ground safely. Definitely, we'll let you guys know that we were safely on the ground today. Alrighty, guys, so thank you so much for joining me on the stream. All of those who caught the stream, we are about to disembark our aircraft here right now, which means that we're getting our GPU and our cones and our wheel shocks on. So again, thank you so much for joining me.
American 1481, pushback approved. Okay, pushback into taxiway Charlie.
Push into Charlie from American 1481.
That's affirmative, and a discussion with your company on your right-hand side is also pushing back.
Roger, I will watch out for the company from American 1481.